Do you guys remember back when the PlayStation Classic came around and I basically just said this makes no sense, this is weird, it's weird coming from Sony, it's just a weird dumb product in general, I don't think anyone needs to buy this. You guys remember when I said that? I don't know if I made it clear in that video, but I'm really not biased to any console in the sense that I'm going to let bad ideas fly. The last time I tore Microsoft a new one, I was talking about EXO 2018 and how they did basically nothing. They got a whole stage, they hyped up an event, they kept talking about how cool it was going to be, and then they used it to basically show off nothing. They showed off DLCs, they shared a Kingdom Hearts trailer, they told us things we already knew about Final Fantasy. Me and my woman sat down and watched that and just shook our heads. We didn't know what we were waiting for, but there was nothing there. Now, as a gamer, I enjoy the Xbox platform. It's just been good to me. I like the hardware, I like the visuals I get on my Xbox One X, I like the integration with PC gaming, more now than ever now that I have a higher end PC, but I'm not going to pretend that the Xbox really deserves a place in your living room just because it has the Microsoft branding on it. I've made this clear before, but I've bought into the Xbox ecosystem for years. I have just piles and piles of games from free games with gold. I have friends, I have achievements, I have subscriptions, and overall it's just something I've tied myself into, and I don't really feel like untangling that knot because I'm comfortable in it. But when I heard that Xbox was going to be releasing an all-digital console, I thought, well, hey, that's kind of a cool idea. Thinking in my mind, as I do, thinking in my mind that it would be a much cheaper console than anything that PlayStation has, because getting rid of that 4K Blu-ray drive that's in the Xbox One S should make the price go down quite a bit. That 4K HDR enabled Blu-ray drive that's inside of the Xbox One S probably runs them about $50 to $80, so when I saw that the Xbox One S all digital is $250, I had to kind of shake my head because you're giving up quite a bit. We have to put this in context. I have a primarily 98% digital library on my Xbox, so what would I have to bitch about? Well, one of the selling points of being an Xbox player is backwards compatibility, something that Microsoft's been toting very desperately, to which I respond to positively because I just love the ability to go grab a cheap game, especially if it's enhanced, like I've pointed this out before, Mirror's Edge, Portal 2, Red Dead Redemption, all of those games, they're very important. Playing them in a modern current-gen resolution gives them new life that, you usually could only get on PC games. So that's a great pro-consumer thing. If you have a copy of Red Dead Redemption, slip that in your Xbox One X, and bam, it's a 4K game. Have a copy of Battlefront 2 for your original Xbox, throw that into your Xbox One S, and you get to play that in 4K. So you spend $50 less, which when you're making a big ticket console purchase, I'm sorry, I don't think it's that much. You're trading your ability to go to your local Walmart, Target, GameStop, wherever, and grabbing a game you missed out on because you just didn't get it when it came out. There's a very tiny handful of backwards compatible games on Xbox that are only playable if you have the disc. The only one that comes to mind is Arkham Origins. Not a huge loss, maybe, to some of you, but think about it. For $50 extra, you have the ability to run down to your GameStop and buy a used copy of a game and slide it in, whether it's backwards compatible or fucking not. I mean, I went down to my Walmart and they had Borderlands The Handsome Collection for $20, so I bought it physical. And if you're like me and you do console sharing, basically allowing one of your friends to get every game you buy and vice versa by setting each other's consoles as each other's home Xboxes, maybe I should do a video about how to do that because it's kind of hard to describe. Anyway, I do that with my girlfriend. Any game she buys, I get, and vice versa. And if for some reason the internet was out, the console that I'm on is technically considered hers by Microsoft. So I can't play any of the games I've purchased, I can only play the games she's purchased. So having some physical copies isn't a bad idea. If my internet was to go out, or the power was to go out, then I couldn't play at all. Buy physical copies so you can play when the power goes out. Yeah, anyway, sorry. No, but when the internet goes out, you have trouble loading into your digital games if you have the setup I do. You can't load in your favorite DVD of Volume 1 of that 2003 Ninja Turtles show. You can't buy the 4K Blu-ray of The Matrix. You can't go get a used copy at GameStop of Red Dead Redemption 1. If Amazon has a lightning deal on a game that you've been wanting to own, you better hope it's for a digital code. And you can't borrow your friend's copy of Devil May Cry 5 because he got it on physical and he'd love to lend it to you, but your fucking Xbox is missing a very important piece of a gaming console. Now, and here's the thing. You might think, well, boom, if they want those options, they can just spend $50 more. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. But why would you want to ditch those options? Even if they only help you out once in your life, why? What would be the point of saving $50 initially and then not being able to save money on used titles and borrow physical games from friends? Hell, if you wanted a rent-to-game from Redbox, go fuck yourself. Like, why would you limit yourself? I mean, if you have an Xbox One S and a television and a decent sound system, by that I mean something that actually plays sound, might you want to watch a movie? And might it not be one that's on Netflix, so might you want to go buy it? Or rent it? I just imagine you could buy an Xbox One S all digital, which is really funny that the acronym is SAD. You can buy an Xbox SAD, and that's super fun for you because you saved $50, and that's money for you to buy meth and hookers, and that's great. But then like a year later, you're gonna be sitting in your room, you're gonna be scrolling through GameStop because you're bored, you're gonna see a sale on a game that you've always wanted to play, but you just never did, and boy, it'd be nice to own that game, and too bad I can't fucking play it. You're at the mercy of digital sales. You're at the mercy of your download speed. You're at the mercy of, well, just a more limited system. I hardly ever use the disk drive in my console, but I do have physical copies of games like Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare 2. I have physical copies of Black Ops 1 and 2. I have physical copies of Borderlands: The Handsome Collection, Amazing Spider-Man 2, and Transformers Devastation, 2 games you can't buy digitally anymore. I even have a physical copy of Kingdom Hearts 3 in case the internet goes out, but I still want to play one of my favorite games. You don't get to do that. So maybe you'll be thinking, God, I have $50 now, I wish I could just upgrade this. Too bad, you can't. So let me just tangent about Microsoft here for a second. Microsoft, hey, I don't know if you've been listening to the criticisms of your platform, but nobody was complaining that the disk drive was weighing their console down. The Xbox One S already doesn't put out great visuals compared to the PS4 Pro, PS4, Xbox One X. It's marketed as a budget console, which is fine. I think it's a good value for $300 for a terabyte console, but also, you know what? A terabyte fills up pretty damn fast, especially if you have just a handful of modern AAA titles. I mean, hell, you lose 100 gigs the moment you have 2 AAA Call of Duty or Battlefield titles. You lose 100 gigs if you just buy Red Dead Redemption, which is kind of a blurry mess on the Xbox One S, mind you. People want you guys to put out exclusives. People want a reason to own your console because you're releasing most of your exclusives on PC, if not all of them. People want that reason. Now, I'm fine as an individual, but if I was one of those Xbox fans that maybe wanted the console to be seen as something better than it currently is, well, I just won't be able to do that if you keep making really sad decisions. Again, the Xbox One S is kind of a budget console. You know, you're not spending the extra $200 to get modern visuals and proper performance in AAA games. So that's great, but then it only has a terabyte hard drive, so you're gonna need to expand that. And if you buy the SAD, it's even cheaper, but then you can't take advantage of budget options like used physical copies of games. I don't know who this product is for. Somebody that wants to play games, does not have an extra $50, and does not ever want to touch a disc, even if their friend is loaning it to them, there's a great price at GameStop on it, or they find one of their old 360 games sitting in their closet. If you're looking for a cheap machine, just buy a used Xbox One S, or buy a used original Xbox One. Refurbished gaming hardware isn't that bad. It's not optimal all the time, and there's some definite horror stories, and you should definitely check out the product before you leave the store with it, and make sure you get a 30-day return window. But when they refurbish consoles, they have to make sure they're working like new, because it's more lengthy and expensive for places like GameStop, or really any place that's going to sell you a used console, to then have to take the console back or do repairs on it. They have a console, they clean it up, they make sure it works, they make sure everything's running, and then they sell it to you for a profit. They really don't want to have to take that back, waste their time giving you your money back, and waste your time making you have to go back there and get your money back. They don't want to do that. Okay, it's lengthy, it's time consuming, it's actually a little expensive. So if you want to save $50, buy a used console. I don't recommend Craigslist because likely that could have some problems. eBay if it's from a really trusted seller that has a high rating and that has a return policy. And GameStop because I haven't had any trouble with their refurbished products in the past. Maybe you guys have, but for the most part that's an outlier. It's costly for them to be stupid and they don't want to be losing any more money than they already are. So in short, I don't know who this product is for. I don't get why anybody needs to trade off a lot of versatility for $50. I don't know why Microsoft is pouring money into stupid projects that I don't think anybody's been asking for not that much cheaper. And I'll say this at the end because then I'll know if anybody comments this, they didn't make it to this point and they shouldn't have been commenting in the first place. I know that the Xbox sad comes with games, but literally every Xbox One S comes with a game, okay? You really don't need to be trading your versatility down the line and your ability to expand your library down the line for an older Forza Horizon game, Sea of Thieves, and freaking Minecraft. I feel like this bundle's for children that don't know any better, and maybe that's what the product's for. But really, just get your kid one with the disc drive so they have more options down the road. And I want to throw one last thing here at the end. Just imagine how funny and sad it would be if a kid like got an Xbox One S all digital and then their parents like also bought them like a bunch of like physical copies of games, or like their friend gives them like a physical copy of Devil May Cry and they're like, I can't play this. Uh-oh. It's like, go trade it in for a digital copy. That's fun. Jesus, just fucking give the kid a disc drive.